Hey guys, Cambrian here. So today, as I continue working on this piece, we've just gotten out of today's episode of Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Thank you everyone who showed up and gave support for the imaging. And I'm drawing here. That was very cool. I appreciate Loki's reaction. It's always what an artist likes to hear. And Makini, you crack me up, buddy. I think I will. Maybe when I do come on your stream, I'll crack out a fresh piece of paper and I'll just start drawing you because I'm starting to percolate an idea for you. But it'll have to wait because I got Tron to do first. Anyways, so inspired a little bit by Eric O'Sullivan talking when he popped on for the pop-ins, talking about, making positivity a thing. And while a couple of my earlier videos there about like Wotc and other things are critical because I need to say them, but I don't want like negative to be what my channel's about. It's about creativity and art and what I'm doing there or what I'm doing here. But when I'm talking about pop culture stuff, I feel it important. But again, we can't be all wound up in the negative all the time. So, I figure I'd talk about something positive. And since the Wotc stuff is kind of fresh in my head, that's what I figure I would talk about today. Now, even though CHEEZE, WHIZ, and SPANDEX here is initially intended to be a once a week kind of thing, I'm going to do it whenever something's popping into my head. So episode 2 here is a day or two after the first 2-part episode, and since my phone only allows me to do it in like half-hour chunks, I'll be fairly quick. Okay. So positivity over the Wotc situation. We've seen Paizo and other companies step up to basically work to reclaim the space from big business, because that's where DnD belongs. That's where tabletop gaming belongs. It doesn't belong on an app. It doesn't, you can have variants and side games, but they're not the main product. The main product of Dungeons and Dragons and every tabletop game that has ever existed is that it's something you do with friends, sometimes family, and it's a private thing. It's your space. It's our space. It's our table. And they want to monetize every segment of it, which is the net. They want to get rid of the books and basically have tablets at our tables. And when they want to monetize every single bit of it with microtransactions, which means when you go to level up a character, they're going to find a way to microtransaction it. And they'll nickel and dime everybody to death, which is what we don't want. But the positive thing is that there's enough material out there that already exists in previous editions. And each edition has enough material for any one player or DM to run games, up-to-date stories, personalized adventures, the whole 9 yards, for the rest of your lives, for the rest of our lives. We don't need, you can collect new editions because it's the thing you do. I'm not knocking that at all. All I'm saying is that what Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro are trying to offer with D&D now is redundant beyond redundant. It's completely worthless. For those who are technophiles and stuff like that and like the idea of, digitizing their stuff, it's a bonus, but it's completely unnecessary because it's not the point of the game. The point of the game is having fun with your friends, sitting around a table. One of the biggest pains of recent years is trying to have a conversation with somebody in a social setting and everyone's faces are buried in their phone. It's annoying. It's not socializing. It's introverted tech. Like when you're having just a conversation with somebody, they're having conversations via their devices in a group of people when they could be talking. I've seen tables full of this for years now, and it's just gotten kind of worse. That doesn't gel with sitting around a game table. Sitting around the house, you cleared off the dining room table, or you're all in the living room. You're around, and the DM's got the coffee table, and you got your dry erase marker mat for the couple of miniatures for representation for physical phys reps and things like that sitting on the table. That's all you need. You don't need a tablet. Like if a DM has a ton of stuff and they don't want to use paper, or somebody wants to use a tablet, okay, fine. It's all cool and dandy. It's all great, but that's not the focus of the game, because all that is your character sheet or your gaming information. If you got the light up you've mounted a television and hooked it up to a computer, mounted a television into your dining room table or game table, as it were, that's all cool and dandy. But it's not necessary, is the point. It's just the point I'm making. If you want to go all out, okay, fine, nothing wrong with that, not knocking it. But this is a game that can be taken anywhere and played anytime with anyone who likes to play and knows the rules. I've got a pair of condensed 3.5 edition rule books by a third-party maker. They're on the shelf. I'm not going to go get them. But it's the player's handbook and the DM's handbook, and they're about yay big and about yay thick, and there's no pictures. It's just the information. These are the travel size rule books. I can throw those with a pad of paper, some pencils, and dice into a travel bag, and I can go anywhere in the world and play D&D or any game, even a homebrew game. That the flexibility of that. Yes, you got to carry a little bit of weight around with you, and sure, digitization, you can carry an entire edition library worth of stuff, sure, and do the same thing. But the books don't require charging. All I need at the very least is candlelight to enjoy them. The simple joy of books that so many of this generation have forgotten have allowed for this kind of business mindset to set in. So if you want to be, so the positive thing about reclaiming the space from big business is understanding the basic fact that we don't need Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast at all. And they want to literally invade the home space and invade the table space. To be a live service feed that they're making money off of while you're at that game table with your friends and family. That's what they want to do. They want to turn it into essentially a mobile game app, the equivalent of that is bugging you for money for every step of the way. It's an invasion of space. So reclaim your space. This is our space, not theirs. We don't need them. We literally don't. So I am going to challenge each and every one of you who happens to be a gamer to have an exercise, just to play an exercise. Grab some paper, pen, pencil, whatever you need to write with, and I want you to design a character. If you have some books, great. If you don't, look online on how to design a character. And what you're going to find, let your imagination go. This is a representation of you, or it could be a self-insert style character, or it's just a standard, character class type, and then go and diversify what it is you want to do with the character that you're making. their look, their attitude, all this. Come up with the character sheet first. If you can draw an image and put it up on your own channel. Just do it. It's an exercise. What you're going to find out at the end of the exercise, when you look back and you come up, you've written up a background for this character that you're going to create. And it doesn't take long. If you don't want to have the dice and do the stats, just write out the character. Just write the character background. You remember the basic stuff. So start with things like, because this will help shape the idea in your mind. Height, age, weight, build, hair color, eye color, race or nationality. Like if it's you can make all of this stuff up, but use the guidelines from the book. For any game book, it doesn't have to be Dungeons and Dragons. It could be any game book with a character creation section. Because you're, tabletop roleplay, they all have them. So pick your favorite, or the one you're most familiar with, or whatever catches your eye if you've never done it before, and just follow the bit and follow the stats. Personally, I've always loved D&D, but my favorite gaming system was, and still is, Palladium, the Palladium gaming system. It's got 2 more stats for their attributes that cover a few more things to help shape an image of the character in your mind. And the character classes, they don't really have character classes, they have job classes, this kind of thing, and you can have several. You can multi-class, but they're very kind of realistically scaled, and I liked that. So using and their what do you call it? Why am I blanking? Their alignments. I really enjoy the Palladium alignments, character alignments. They really help break down to describing characters a little better than most fantasy descriptions. Or and they give examples in each one. Say for scrupulous, Han Solo is an example of scrupulous. Or maybe it's selfish. I'm not too sure, but it gives the pros and cons for those character traits and examples, and why you can be a good person or a bad person with that character trait. But anyway, so use these to construct your character. Me, I'm here. I'm not using a character sheet, but what I've done is I've taken Loki, and I've amalgamated the looks known for the character through comics and whatnot, and put what little I know about the actual Stone Loki's face, which I know he doesn't actually have the long hair. He's kind of like nice and shiny on top, and he's got the goatee going and a wry sense of humor. So that's my image of him, and I incorporated other variants of Loki in the representation. Costume variations worked in, this kind of thing. You can do this. So build your character. What you're going to find by the end of the exercise is that you've proven the point of tabletop role-playing games, which is your imagination is all you need. Your hand, the pencil, the paper, the dice, the rules, these are the outlet for your imagination. They come through your mouth and through your hands onto paper. And it is the point. You will these characters into being. And you guide them. So take hold of that and try that exercise out. Just write it out. You can't draw, that's fine. Find an image that approximates what it is you're doing, and throw it on a channel and put a link to your channel with that video in the chat. And I will go and take a peek and see what you came up with. There's no time limit for this. It's only for those who want to take part. But give it a crack. Give it a shot. All you're doing is creating, and you're proving the point that we all as players have as the positive thing, the positive skill set as human beings. Once we have the basic rules, we end up creating our own stories. And yeah, we have the affection for Dungeons and Dragons and whatever whatnot, but those who own it right now and are in control of it don't understand it. They don't understand us, and they don't understand that their place in the scheme of things and the relationship that is acceptable between them and us. And by us reclaiming the hobby, by literally saying no, boycotting all of their stuff, boycotting the movie that's coming out, is that a negative thing? No, it's not, because you're standing up for your space. We're all nerds. It's Revenge of the Nerds. We got to team up and stand together against all the alpha betas and all this kind of crap. We used to get beat up for playing this game by the very type of people who now own it, bought it because we made it popular. We have the ability to take back what is ours, and it's our space. So boycott, you can boycott or ignore just whatever, anything that's actually D&D until, from this point forward. That's your choice to take part in that idea or not. I'm going to take part by not buying anything from them. I'll watch the movie when it comes on streaming. And if it's not on, say, Netflix, it's not going to be worth my time. Honestly, I'm tired of the having to search for everything everywhere. So, be positive, but be positive in standing up for what you know is right. And in this case, big business is trying to fleece us, steal our stuff, and sell it back to us. And that's not how we all were raised. That's not how you treat people. It's not how you treat customers. It's not how you treat fans. It's not how you treat third party. It's not how you treat fan artwork, because they want to steal it all. If I do a piece of a beholder, they can legally steal it from me and make money off it. And I'm a struggling artist. I'm not making money off of any of my stuff. I wish I was. I finally have the time to kind of do it, and I can't make money off my stuff. But I can if I can get some original work out. And I need to get through a slog of, not a slog because it's not a slog. I need to get through stuff that I want to do to get to the stuff that I need to do. And I'm kind of doing both at the same time. But I'm trying to stay positive by encouraging everyone to say, stand up for what you know is right. In this case, we know that Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast are absolutely wrong and bad and totally not appropriate for this hobby, because it's run amok. It's gone OP. They got full of themselves, and we have to stand up for ourselves as nerds, as gamers, and say no more. And we don't need to spend our money on their stuff. We don't need to do the digitization. We don't need to go with any of that at all, because we don't need them. We don't. All we need is each other. We need people to come to the table who are, amenable to the group or friendly and want to have fun and aren't there to cause drama. Hasbro and Wotc courted that unfortunate community that is all about the drama and changing things when it's about diversity and inclusion. Well, that's the player's responsibility to bring to the table. You don't like orcs, don't use orcs. That's a house rule. You don't project these things onto everybody else and then try to take the entire thing away from us and sell it back to us in a digitized form. And if we want to play it, we have to do that. No. Take back the tabletop gaming birthright, which is all we need is our imaginations. We can come up with the simplest game system there is with just six-sided dice. I've seen it. I've had a friend do it where he came up with his own game system. And it was good, and it was fast, and there wasn't a whole ton of physical rules to worry about. And it was fun. We had some fun with it for a good couple of months, but he didn't really prepare beyond that. And but anyway, yeah. But so it can be done. I've seen it done. I've experienced it. We can do it. So create your own stuff. Create your own characters. Go out and buy the books that you know are coming out and the systems that you know are coming out, because we don't need Wizards of the Coast to play Dungeons and Dragons. We're still going to have fighters, mages, wizards, paladins, this, that, whatever, whatnot, all the races. And these guys, these companies are going to give us the orcs to slay because hashtag orc lives don't matter. Hashtag they're not real. Don't let those who are trying to change these things for the worse stress you out. It's just tune them out. They have no real power. We do. Our wallets, our time, our attention. And they've tried to take it from us, so we just take back those things. And we go and give it to those who earn it. We know who earn it. So stay positive, guys. Go create. Draw something, write something today. Take the time to create something and have fun with it. Let your imagination go. And it doesn't have to be D&D. It can be anything. Star Wars, Star Trek, anything. Pokemon, for crying out loud. Just do it. Make something. Make something today and be fearless about it. Create. Don't complain. Create. We can do it. I'm doing it. You can do it. Let's have fun doing it. All right, guys. Cambrian out.